been doing this forever.
Forever.
I've been off and on for some years.
7 years.
7 years?
You been off and on for about 6 years.
Off and on, 6, 7 years.
It's been a good, interesting
Conversation. Show.
Especially a dog dude like me, because my slang black. Huh?
Yeah. I said, that nigga ethnic than anybody walking in. Just one-on-one jams. You have the wrong number. Thank you for calling.
What did he say?
It's Susan there.
Oh.
Okay. Rolling number. All right.
I think I'm the right person for it, though, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, really, I think I was born for this particular thing.
Not being black?
Well, you gotta understand, like, when I was growing up.
Well, wait till we start the show.
Yeah. Say that shit.
Say that shit. You're walking.
Get the berry on your ass. You taste it?
That's the drink. Berry on your ass.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Berry on your ass.
She come up with a drink every week that's not even out on the market. Shit, dry. Try it.
I did this.
What you think about it?
It's cool.
It's something she need to market. I keep on telling her you need to get with these liquor companies and get a check. Let me start this.
Yeah, let me know when you're ready. Go get her.
I gotta put the static boxes.
See, bro.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. This is Under the Influence on Texas 101 Jams. I am Esler.
This is your boy Go Getter.
And we have our guest, Ken Fennell, who is going to tell us why we are not black. So, all right, Ken.
Let's first start by saying that some people may want to enjoy that black.
Okay.
But from a legal standpoint, it does not mean what you think it
Gotta talk to Mike.
Okay, I got you.
So you say,
From a legal standpoint,
Yeah, exactly.
what do we think that means?
All right. Have you ever noticed, like, every other group of people have, like, a nationality?
Caucasian.
Well, Caucasian is a
Hispanic.
made-up name, but then that'll work. I mean, like, Puerto Ricans are from where?
Puerto Rico.
So where are blacks from?
Africa. That's why you get African Americans.
If that's the case, it's almost like having dual citizenship.
But we are. You know what I'm saying? It's just like Caucasian Americans. But they just dropped the American.
Well,
But you're saying, why can't we just be Americans?
we actually are American.
I am American. I mean,
I'm saying,
I'm
like,
American,
you say you're
yeah, but I'm
American
African
instead of just
American because you
saying
have
that-
to separate it to a certain point. It's a separation in it.
Well, it's not that easy.
Okay.
When you classify yourself something, especially as something that's considered your race, then you have to live up to what that is.
Okay.
If you look up that word right now, if you ask Siri right now,
What is black?
what are black people?
Yeah.
She'll tell you that it's a derogatory term that's only used in North America.
Oh.
Black people.
Black people, just black people, period. I mean, in law, if you want to get even more technical with it, from a grammatical standpoint,
Right.
what is black? What?
Black is a color.
No, not meaning like what is it? What part of speech is black?
Oh.
Black is a speech.
No,
Black-
people
black
be
is
saying
a
like
part of
black
speech.
slang.
Like,
They
okay.
be saying black slang,
Urban
right?
slang.
They be saying black slang, urban.
I hate to do this, but let's go
No,
back
let's
to
do
like
it. We're gonna
third
drop
grade.
it. Don't sugarcoat
No,
up.
it ain't gonna be sugarcoat, but you gotta give. I gotta give you basis for what I'm saying.
Right. That's what we
When
want.
when you compare it from a grammatical standpoint,
Okay.
black is an adjective.
Okay.
Adjectives modify.
Okay.
Like for instance, Black Panther.
Right.
What's black in
The
Black
panther.
Panther? The panther.
Right.
So if we're black, then what are we? Black what? Blacks?
Where did the word black? Why did they start naming us black? But you gotta say you can
They had
talk about us.
Negro. They
You know what I'm
had.
saying?
They had Negro.
Yes.
What's the
They
Spanish
had-
equivalent for Negro?
Spanish?
What does Negro mean in Spanish?
Black. Negro.
They have islands in the Philippines right now called the Negros Island.
Yeah.
Because when they went over there, they found people that looked like me and you.
Okay.
And that's the Hispanic term, so it's not American term, because that you can't. You want to. I feel that you pushing it towards America, but that's a universal term because North America, South America, they all call you, you know what I'm saying, mayate. Well, nigga, but it comes from
That's just
being black
slang
and stuff. Yeah, for black.
What I'm
And that's a
telling you.
Spanish word from over in Spain, not from Mexico. That's what a lot of people think Spanish come from Mexico. No, Spanish come from Spain.
You do know who colonized? Wait, let's back up.
Okay, back up.
Do you know what colonization is?
Yeah.
Do you know what colonization is? Do you realize we are still under colonization right now as we speak?
Yeah.
And we were colonized by who at first? The Spanish. Per se. 1492. It's others that came after with, but they were the first one who came with the discovery of America with Christopher Columbus. All right. It really gets technical because it started way before it got to America.
Okay.
You know what who the Moors are?
Yeah. We know about the Moorish Americans. That's what they call themselves. They don't use black. Right?
Well,
They're
black
Moorish
isn't.
Americans.
You gotta understand what I'm saying. Black isn't a description of people.
I'm just saying, like, they don't use it
It is a
anyway.
description.
They
No,
just
it's a
say that
description
they're
in the sense that you can
Moorish
say that I'm black,
Americans.
but if you write on an application that you're black, that means that you are stateless. That means that you are.
that's what-
That
So
means
you
that
don't
you are
have your
dead.
nationality.
That's how you
Exactly.
take it, because you got to, you know what I'm
We say you
saying?
don't have your nationality. That's what he's talking
But
about.
every word has a meaning, and we don't have our nationality due to the fact that slavery. That messed it up.
And that's why they start calling you black.
So that messed it up, but everything starts somewhere. Now, maybe, you know what I'm saying, it don't go all the way back to as far as you want to take it back. But it goes back to slavery, and that's where black came in. Because we had to separate the difference
Well, they had
between
to stop
Africans
calling people
and,
Negroes.
yeah.
And they had to stop calling you nigga.
Yeah, and you had to
So they had to
separate
give
you
it another
from
name.
Africa, because you're not born in Africa. When slavery
Right.
was over and we can stop calling you Negroes and nigga and stuff like that,
Well,
they had to come up with a saying and stuff. So that's where it originated from. Just like any word, just like urban.
Which you're gonna make my point even more by saying.
Okay.
What I'm telling you is, when they called you that, it was to take you out of your nationality.
No, they made it our nationality.
No, listen what I'm telling you. That can't be a nationality because it doesn't.
Because
No,
they
it can't.
made it. They made us different than them.
It doesn't work.
By
Like
bringing us, it's just like taking
No,
notes.
he's saying without nationality, then you don't have like all your rights and your freedoms.
You don't have
that you
any of your
have
rights. If you look up right now,
if you had your nationality. Like if you had went,
We don't
like
have
we
that.
talked about that Moorish
Why don't you have
American
it?
thing.
Because of
like
slavery.
You can get
no, you don't have it because you
nationality.
consider yourself black. You
No.
can. It's on a
Get your
birth certificate.
nationality
It
like
tells
that.
you that you have a right to a name and a nationality. If you don't have that, then that's up to you. No matter what they did to you in slavery, it's still up to you to reclaim that.
Okay, and when you reclaim it, what's your nationality?
Well, listen, it's like this.
I just asked a question. Then tell me, what's
Well,
your nationality?
we get to trying to jump on the ship from the boat without using the ladder. We start doing that. What I'm trying to tell
Make
you
it
is,
faster. That's why.
I totally understand that. But if you are going around still using something that actually identifies a color in a crayon box, and you are not in the human family, then you cannot seek remedies for what you call racism. That's just the way it goes. If you look at it, if you go to international law, based on international law, if you want remedy for what people do to you in a nation state, then you gotta be a part of a nation to do that. They don't recognize individuals.
But
And they really don't recognize black people because it ain't no such thing.
But my thing is this, you know what I'm saying? You see how you using stuff that people have made up. It's the international law.
I agree.
It was international law started by what? Who started international law? It had to start somewhere. Just like it had to start, black had to start somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Shit happens and you have to, you know what I'm saying, start. Just like urban. Are you urban? Do you wear urban clothes? No, I don't
subscribe to it.
Don't try to. You
but I
wear
don't
urban
subscribe to titles
clothes,
like that.
but why do urban have to represent the black culture? I mean, the unnational culture. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So is that really urban? But
Because they've been stealing our
it made
culture
a
for
word.
thousands of
You know what I'm
years.
saying?
Right.
But they've been stealing our culture for thousands of years and capitalizing off of it.
That's
Whether or not we get out of that cycle is up to us.
It is.
It's almost like if somebody taking your lunch money for 2 years straight.
Right. And you ain't saying
And you
that.
ain't saying that. You think they gonna stop?
No.
But the main thing is this. You know what I'm saying? This is what I say all the time. slavery came around from what? Slavery was around before black folks were slave to white folks. Slavery came out because when they came to trade in Africa and stuff, they traded them prisoners that they got from other tribes. And the white people like, oh, y'all gonna give me that? They mine and stuff. I can take them back. They come back and like, shit, we got guns. We just gonna take all y'all asses. We gonna take. Why pay y'all for this shit? We can just take all y'all asses.
It didn't work like that. I hate to tell you, and I'll say this, man, and I think for our people, the remedy for a lot of stuff is stop believing what everybody say and just do the research.
Okay.
I'm just being honest.
The research of letting people say.
Well, I understand that, but what you got to understand is before 1492, that was actually real history. That was real history. They changed all of that. I understand the concept of what you're saying, but it didn't happen like that.
How did it happen?
Well, it's like
you did the history, so you tell me the history.
Well, I'm not trying to say. I'm not trying to say condescending. I'm just trying to tell you when you connect the dots, it makes all the sense in the world.
So for all the people out there right now that don't know how slavery started, educate.
Well, it wasn't even about enslaving a certain people. It was all about taking over the trade routes. And slavery just happened to be one of the commodities that they used to go on the trade routes. As far as about it starting, it was really a revenge thing against the Moors that they had just conquered in Spain, which had another name at the time. It wasn't about this whole Christopher Columbus discovering America. It didn't happen like that.
Right.
They were just actually, when you have a war with somebody and you win the war, you gain the spoils of the war.
Right.
And this was just another part of what the Moors had dominion over. You know who the richest man in the world was? You ever heard of who that was? A man called Mansa Musa.
Mansa Musa?
Mansa Musa.
I have heard that name.
Mm-hmm.
Dark as iron. The Mali Empire. The west coast of Africa. Before he was king, his brother sent 200 ships across the Atlantic, full of gold, full of people. Abu Bakr II. These were dark people. Mm-hmm. They never were heard of before. I mean, again. So when they did that, actually when one of the ships came back and gave word of what they found over here, they sent 2,000 ships over here. This was before Columbus. This is history. People actually recorded this stuff before Europeans even got a hold to it. They have something called iconography. What they did was, for all the figures who had dark skin before it got to 1492, they changed them out.
Well, yeah, they did. And then
So
they couldn't
the
change
2,000
the
ships, where they go?
off.
They came to
The
America.
noses off and
They
all
was
that.
here already?
Yeah, listen. For whatever people believe about this slavery thing, they had a thing called a triangle slave trade, where they went from America, from Britain to America to Africa in a triangle, just like this. It is proven history that it was only on the high end 500,000 African slaves that touched down in the coast of North America. 500,000.
So the rest of them was already here, huh?
I'll let you make your own determination about that.
Yeah,
What I'm telling you is, but it just don't make sense to think that you could go across to Africa and get some people to come back over here and work the land and they just pick up like it wasn't nothing.
We just don't know shit about George Washington and
was
Frank
already,
Redcoats and the
But most
Mayflower.
of it is
George Washington was actually you got to understand where they came from. And the same places I'm telling you that they conquered Spain, Liberia, and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. They ruled all that stuff. You ever heard of the so-called Black Brits? Man, they were in place before George Washington and Queen and all those
Well,
stuff.
they were everywhere, especially,
That's my
especially
point.
being the Moors. They were everywhere. They was teaching the
That is
Asian
my
people.
point.
They was teaching everything. They taught the white people who was like cavemen how to bathe, how to.
What happened to the Moors?
everything. They taught
They conquered
all
them.
kinds
You
of
might
stuff.
be one. You never know it.
American.
You American.
They taught them how to do
You a
a
black
lot of
American.
stuff.
I'm black American. Shit.
Did you look up that word? Ask Siri what black people mean.
Yeah, I did.
What she
What you
say?
said.
What did she say?
What is that?
Siri said black people is just a race, considered a race.
Read it out. Let's see.
Considered a race.
No, I
Black
don't
people
believe
is
that. I
a
wanna hear
term
this.
used in certain countries other than social-based system of racial classification.
Finish reading it.
or of ethnicity to describe a person who is perceived to be dark-skinned compared to other populations.
No, finish reading. No, finish reading it.
See,
That's it.
that's it.
No, that ain't it. That is
No,
not it.
You finish reading.
I finished.
I read the main idea of the topic. You gonna find the one that say what you
No,
want to say, huh?
No.
You know what? With that, I'll give it back to you.
No, for real.
Well,
I
listen,
just read it.
I understand the reason why people try to fight this.
Right.
I really do. I mean, cause I want the name Black as it was like it was a title.
Right.
Like, what's up, Black? Like, you know.
Right.
And it was cool for me.
Right.
But what I'm telling you, if you accept that title, then you have to accept what comes with it.
What comes with it, though?
Everything you've been facing as a so-called black person right now.
Yeah, because
I'm
once
good.
you have your nationality, once you have that, then you are under a protection. There's certain things that this government can't do to you once you have that. Like you belong to a different kind of organization and stuff.
Not even to get that deep into it though. I mean, just
like,
from
once you have your nationality.
Yeah, that's that
like,
loophole of the
certain-
mormons
Right.
and people and what we do with it.
we didn't get it.
But then that's the main thing when if it's a different thing if we wanted to embrace that and do something with it.
Right.
But no. Niggas just want to take it and don't have to worry about paying taxes and
Right, so
driver
they try to
license
get their nationality
and
because
stuff.
of that, right? So
They
have to
want that
so they don't have to
nationality
deal
for
with
the
the laws
wrong
of the
thing.
land.
Well,
That's why they want
I
that
beg to differ, and I'll
nationality.
say this, and this is why. If we are the heirs to the land, why
Right.
not have tax
Because we
exemption?
lost it with the spoils of war.
That
our
still doesn't
part.
mean that's
It
what
ain't-
treaties.
it
That's
ain't
what
mine.
treaties are
saying,
for.
even if we lost with the spoils of war,
That's
we
what
still
treaties
can
are
get
for.
it back.
How we gonna get it back then?
You gotta get that
You
nationality.
gotta be who you say you
You
are.
gotta get the spoils of war. You gotta race war and take over.
Nah, see, you know the wrong thing by saying that. What I'm telling you is there's a
Nobody can
remedy
give up this shit.
in law that we can take to get to do better with what we got going on. I mean, if we just sit back and keep saying that, man, I'm black, man, I ain't worried about what you talking about. Then we can't expect for our children to have a better life, no, because we in our 30s and 40s, man, we almost gone.
Shit, you might be gone.
Yeah.
Like what I'm saying is, man, we gotta be making it better for our
So are
kids,
you trying to
though.
get your nationality?
I'm already in the process. I just don't try to push it on other people. What I'm telling you is, forget the nationality part. Just step away from the part that makes you their slave.
I
So
think
what do you call yourself if you don't call yourself black?
I prefer indigenous or anything. You can call me.
Yeah,
You can almost call me anything but black when I know it's
People do use
derogatory.
Indigenous. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna get a little bit deep with this. That's why I came prepared.
Okay.
In 2016, I know a lot of people don't like hearing from me. I'm a little dude from Mississippi. Nobody want to hear from me. But in 2016, President Barack Obama, he signed a law saying in 2020
I know.
they're gonna outlaw the word Negro.
Right.
What do you think that means?
Yeah.
I brought this with me.
Yeah.
yeah. So he was
Yeah.
against us, huh?
That's
They say in 2020 most people are gonna be looking
But
mixed
no,
anyway.
he signed something too.
in
about the
2010 he
indigenous
signed
people
on
too,
to the
though.
rights of indigenous people, which the
Exactly.
U.S. wouldn't sign. It's almost
Right.
like a
He
twofold
did
thing.
that. He did that.
If he telling you, if he's signing on saying that these are indigenous people over here, and then telling you that you're not a Negro, which means black, I mean, what else is it to say?
Obama got something up his sleeve.
I mean,
said-
he already,
No,
he's
helping
already
the
done
people.
it.
Yeah, he
He's
helped.
That's what I'm
the
telling
people.
you. He's giving you a platform to just
indigenous
get into
people
your
are
proper
getting-
person. And the reason I brought this is this.
The indigenous people are getting.
I mean, 'cause I can back up
are
everything I'm
getting their
saying
stuff back,
From a,
which was really, really good.
you see what they say? My parents right here.
Uh-huh.
What's that say?
Negro.
All right, a little history. They passed acts of Congress making Indian, so-called Indian people, Negroes.
Well, you know, if the first people here that was indigenous or people
Like
of
from
color,
2,000 ships.
Well, if you
so
look up the
why were
word-
they not Native American?
Well, they play with words to confuse you in the first place. And the I'll tell you a key to get around all the crap that they do. If
Okay.
you learn etymology, then everything else becomes a little bit easier.
Okay.
Because like for saying certain words like Jesus and black and all that stuff, you'll know that a lot of those words couldn't have existed when they say they
didn't
did.
exist. They didn't.
But people still hold on
Certain
to it.
alphabets weren't even there then.
And Jay was one of
One
them.
of them, exactly.
So you know his name couldn't have been Jesus.
Exactly.
But if you tell the average person that, they'll be ready to fight you.
Exactly. They will.
And they know it's correct. It don't matter if his name was whatever or this or that,
Right.
but it does
But
matter.
it does matter.
Would you want to be with your mama named you?
I would.
Especially if you were great.
Yeah. Exactly.
But this black thing, we gotta get away from it.
But that's gonna be a hard battle.
I understand that.
I feel we need to stop
It's a hard battle to
fighting
climb.
to get away from stuff and just accept it and make it a better thing.
How can you make a dead status better?
Why it have to be dead? Have you ever heard the same way we turn
They getting
nigga
rid
into
of,
a
they getting
good?
rid of Negro.
So
Like
say
that
what
word
we-
ain't even gonna be used no
Okay,
more.
so what they gonna say? We're black.
But black does not
Race is
denote
black. They say black. They say black.
what
Mine
race
say
is.
Negro.
Well,
You
yours
don't
say
say
black.
Negro? You say black.
I was born in the
I
South.
probably say Negro.
I don't think mine
I
say
would
Negro.
probably say Negro.
No, a lot of them don't. And I'll tell you why. For one reason why. I was born in the South.
Black.
Well, yeah,
I'm
you
born in
are.
Austin and Breckenridge.
Yeah.
I'm black. I'm black.
Yeah, no, Austin, yeah.
But it doesn't mean what you think it means. I'm telling you.
It means what you make it out.
No,
to
it
be
doesn't.
and how
It
you
doesn't.
take it.
It just doesn't work that way.
Well,
I mean,
that's like
stones
people
will break my
using,
bones.
that's like
You
people
never
use a nigga as a positive thing.
We did the same thing
to
to-
change it to
Yeah,
something
yeah.
else.
we did the same
It's
thing
not
to
a big
nigga
thing.
that we did to
Right.
black.
Right.
It was a bad word, but we made it good.
And
Exactly.
But all the time, but it
That's
doesn't
how
work like that
shit
when you're dealing with
starts.
status, though. It
But
just
that's
doesn't.
just like saying we want to be American. What Americans? We need to make them start calling themselves, are you British? Or are you Spanish? Or you know what I'm saying?
If you hold them to that place, they might do
You know what I'm
that.
saying? But why worry about that? Let's
No,
move
you don't.
on.
Listen, man, you gotta
It's like-
understand,
it
man,
seems
this is
like
about
it's-
inheritance. This ain't
You
about
can't hear
no.
it, shit. They always they ain't finna give us our 40 acres and a mule. So why the hell they gonna give us something
Well, see,
else?
the
Our history.
government-
Why should they give it to
They-
you if you
they-
call yourself black?
Shit,
Right.
They wouldn't give it to you when you call yourself Negro. They ain't call yourself black.
I'm
You
not-
shit. You
this-
not called Negro.
But with your nationality, you get different rights. You get all your rights that you
We don't
initially
act
were
right with the
supposed
rights
to
we have
get.
now.
We do
What
How many
rights you
niggas
have?
filed? How many
What
people
rights you
did
have?
wrong on their taxes this past couple of months and stuff?
Internal revenue ain't even
You know
real.
what I'm saying?
I'm telling you the truth.
It's real enough because we pay them. They take they on your check, huh?
But it's bullcrap.
They on your check.
No, they ain't on my check.
They on your check.
They ain't on my check.
Self-employed, huh?
They ain't on my check. I'll leave it like that.
Self-employed. You don't have to pay them.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm telling you is
There you go. Now answer the question. We gonna get. That's what I'm talking about.
this
This bullshit.
this shouldn't be a this shouldn't be
It's
an
not
attempt to try
about
to
that.
connect me with the internal revenue. Say if you pay tax, that's good for you. I don't have to listen, man. You're confusing what I'm trying to. I ain't come to try to argue about.
We're not
the point.
arguing. I'm just trying to
I'm
be
just trying
enlightened
to-
on it, but I want to be enlightened by the full light, not by the, you know what I'm saying, the reflection of what you want to reflect to me.
Man, we can talk about this for 2 days if that's the case.
Shit,
If we ain't got but an hour.
you
I'm
be back
trying to-
Wednesday on my show.
Look, I'm just trying to give you enough light to. I tell you what, don't believe anything I say. All you got to do is go research the stuff. See how black makes you what they call uninheritable.
It makes you
Undefendable.
worry about these feelings. You worry about how somebody feels, but have you been feeling uninherited? I mean, we say it make you feel what?
Uninherited.
And do you feel like that? Do you feel like that?
inheritance.
You've been calling yourself black for long. Do you feel like that? Do you feel
I
like
don't
any
call
that your
myself
color has
black.
stopped you from anything?
I already call myself.
Do you
black.
feel your color has stopped you?
Do
I'm
from
like
you
anything?
believe
OJ,
racism
I'm not
exists?
black. Like I said it
I
a
believe
lot. I'm
racism
like OJ,
do
I'm not
exist.
black.
I
In what
do
form?
believe there's this because we're the most racist people out there.
Who,
Can't
we are?
erase being black.
Black people.
We are
Yeah.
really.
Yes.
How
And
so?
his experience.
You know what I'm saying? We're the most racist people out there that black folks were quick to play the race card. And we, you know what I'm saying? We accept it and we do it, but we get away with it. So we treat white people, you know what I'm saying? We quick. If you look at this, if you was at any comedy show and they start talking about black folks, you know what I'm saying? And they talk when you at any comedy show for black folks and a white person up front, you got something to say, huh? Point them out. But let be a white and one black person and start talking about the black race as a whole on all the negative stuff that they do.
So you'll compare that to them doing things like American genocide, like what they did in the Devil's Punch Bowl, where they took almost over 30 to 40,000 people, just killed them overnight. You'll compare that to somebody telling a joke about somebody
I'm
being
not
white.
comparing it and stuff like that, but it happened. You know what I'm saying? What do we do to move on from it? Are we going, you know what I'm saying? Is your glass half empty or half full? Where do you go from there? At that time when we didn't have rights and stuff like that, and we had those problems and stuff, that was the law of the land. We live by the law of the land.
If you're still under colonization, you still don't have rights.
Yeah, we got rights. I got rights.
You do? You?
I got rights, yeah.
Like what?
When I go to court, I got my rights.
You think so?
Yeah, I got my rights. My father's an attorney, so he can't run that shit by me because it don't have nothing to do with my
So your
race.
father's
My
an
father's an attorney, and he got friends that judges and black judges that make sure you get your right.
It just doesn't work like that.
It doesn't run like that?
No.
So him being a black judge and you go in there and people fighting over their rights and he say you win, you on your rights, huh?
That's not a matter of rights, though. Those are
What's
codes.
your rights?
Those are rights. I have inalienable rights, man. I mean, I don't get my rights from a government. Governments were never meant to give you rights in the first place.
Why not? Government's the one running you.
They're not supposed to
If that
run
we
you.
need to be Wild Wild West, then just shoot a nigga in the head and say I got the right because you looked at me in the type of way.
You are
have
the
to be
government.
governed. So
No,
government
you should govern
because people
yourself.
need to be governed. No, that's the main thing. If you govern yourself, that's when people feel a certain type of way and do fucked up shit.
So
Because I feel, no, let me finish. Because, you know what I'm saying? I feel that I want this. I didn't feel like coming in today, so I ain't gonna come in today. I feel I want to do this. That's the problem that we having right now, that people are not governed and held to responsibility of what they want to do, what needs to be done, because they too busy talking about how I feel.
Wow.
That's the problem that goes on right now in society now. That's why they pushing so much gay stuff, because gay people feel that it should be put out there just like anybody else, because we are people too.
I'll just adamantly disagree.
Okay.
I think they've confused us so much to where we almost represent their agenda without even knowing it.
Well, that too. People are brainwashed on something.
Because all I'm saying is this: if I'm telling you that a word puts you in a state to where legally it takes you out of descendability, meaning for inheritance and all that kind of stuff,
Right.
put you in your proper person when it comes to law and all that stuff, I don't know what else to say. Because
but you got to give them like a new something that they can.
and you know what? That's usually what I get a lot.
You have to give them something else. So if I'm not
and
black,
that's what I
then
get.
what am I?
But the
And
journey
that's
of
what they
finding out
want.
who you
Like,
are is
people
way
want-
much better.
It is, but people need something because all their lives they have been told that they are this and they are this and they are this, and they send it down from generation to generation. You're this, you're this, you're this. So you have to give them something to be.
Well,
It's like the people who work 9 to 5. It's like that same kind of mindset. It's not like an independent worker. It's not like a self-employed person. Self-employed people think differently than 9 to 5ers. Period. So if you got all these people who have been colonized, okay,
Including us.
who are colonized, you know, and thinking, they're the colonizers, thinking a certain way, they have to be taught a certain way, then you have to reteach them to think a new way.
And that's the main
And
thing.
you
A lot of
can't-
people
and
want to
you can't
fuss
just
about
say,
shit, but they don't
hey,
have no solution.
This is this, this is this, this is this.
I just
you
gave you
can't
the
be
solution.
this, you can't be that. Well, you telling us, okay, you're not black because it's negative. You
don't
lose
know
your
what color you are.
inheritance.
I'm not a
know,
color.
We were the first people here.
That's what I'm
you
trying to
know,
tell
we're
you.
not
Well,
a crayon. You know, whatever. Then you use the word indigenous.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the word, they need a new word to use, something
Yes.
they can connect to.
And
Like
once
they
you-
all saw the Wakanda. They all want to be Wakanda
Wakanda.
forever.
What was it
You know
special
what I
about
mean?
Wakanda? They belong to a nation.
They did, and there was unity, and there was a whole place that hadn't been colonized.
But that's the main thing. We quick to point out, and,
And they
we don't
knew
like
who-
this,
they
we don't
knew
do this,
who
but
they
nobody
were.
can go up and fight for what it is. If that's how you feel and stuff, why don't you lead the fight as in finding a color that African Americans can
No, you
say,
don't have to be a color, sir.
Well, let's find a color, but
But
what we
fine,
gonna be?
something they
Identify
can
ourselves as a
identify,
race.
Yeah.
What you can?
Yeah.
What do you want to be called
It's like this.
as a race?
It-
What do
it-
you want to be?
indigenous.
Well,
Indigenous.
let's go back to words. Race. Man, it's only one race. That's the human race,
It's the human race.
which is made up of families,
It's
which are
like
called
color.
nation states.
Okay.
So therefore, it gives you what it is right there.
No, because it breaks it down.
It doesn't say anything about blacks and
no,
colors
you
and
have
all
to
that.
break it down. You have to break it down because color is a color, but then they break it down to what color.
But it's
You got
not a
red
color
color,
because you're not
black
calling.
color,
But you're not
this
calling
color.
people
No,
red.
White
people
color.
aren't
I mean,
colored,
I
man.
understand human
You're
race,
not calling people
but we have to
olive
break it down.
green.
People
But we
are
have
others.
okay, so that's why I say we got to come up with a different
another
name for
just
us.
saying black.
But he's
Because
trying to
really
say
are the
that we
only
should be the
ones-
human race, so we don't. But even with the human race, it is
Still
separated
nations
because
still
it's
separated,
yes.
right?
So
It's
what's
separated,
up?
it's separated by
Other people
nation.
don't have
I know, but
colors.
you don't have a
though.
nation.
We the
Why
only
not?
one
Because
that have an
we
actual
took from
color.
Africa. Africans have a nation; they consider themselves African.
If you African, why don't you claim a nation of Africa then?
You know what I'm saying? That's they do. The
No,
Africans
I'm saying why
that
don't
come
you?
from there,
Since you
'cause I-
came from Africa.
Because I didn't come from Africa.
I know that.
You know what I'm saying? So where do we come from? What do we identify ourselves? And the main thing easy, made it easy is we're gonna say they're black. Because you know
It
what I'm
doesn't
saying?
make it easier.
They're
That's what I'm saying.
Negroes.
It doesn't.
They
Yes,
named
but
us
I'm saying,
Negroes
give
because
the
they
people-
couldn't call us Africans no more.
Well, actually, in 2020, the word is gonna go to African American.
Okay, we African American.
That doesn't fit either, man. If it's African American, it disqualifies you from being descendant of the land. It doesn't work like that. This is
Because-
about land.
okay,
Nothing
because-
else.
So what we
Like,
African?
I wouldn't consider myself African American because I ain't never been to Africa.
That's my whole
I'm
point.
American.
So
shit.
I'm not
If we gotta go by that
African-American.
title, why don't they have to go by European American?
Right.
Well,
Even though they ain't Americans in the first
due
place.
to
I'm
the
not
fact they
from
wrote the
Africa.
laws and they had to come up with something for us because they had something
See,
for
when you
themselves.
do history,
Nope, they had something for themselves because when they first got there and stuff like that, they had the little problems. You know what I'm saying? They had the different nationalities that didn't that clashed together and stuff. But as time went by, they, you know what I'm saying, they filtered it out. That was so mixed in together and stuff. Are you Italian? Are you Spanish? You know what I'm saying? But even Italians don't consider them. They'll say they're Italian Americans, but they still, I'm Italian.
Some do say
You know what I'm saying? I'm Italian Americans, but they still say I'm American.
Italian.
They
Right,
race,
I'm
and that's how they
Italian.
just talk to
Right.
each other. And
That's
stuff.
actually
But I
two different
understand
kind of
what he-
Americans, though.
I understand what he's saying, though, because they're Italian from Italy or somewhere, so they have a place to.
They
be
spawned from
somewhere.
us.
Well, yeah, I know everybody did.
Everybody's
But-
from us. We all know that shit. But
Right.
What I'm telling you is that's why- Y'all, I get emotional about this stuff. Y'all gotta
I
realize
see
why.
it.
Get him
Yeah,
emotional.
You have to
That
understand.
don't mean you're right. Just because you got emotional.
I'll take that. But what I'm telling you, just because you're calm-minded doesn't mean that you're right either. But what I'm telling you is this stuff really affects us.
You snuck me one in. Let me find out what combine mean.
I said calm-minded. I want y'all to throw no
calm.
word. I ain't throwing no
I
words
threw
at
a
you,
word
bro.
now.
No, I ain't doing that now.
Yeah, I thought you threw a
I
word
ain't
at
doing that.
me.
But we got
Minded.
Okay.
when we get our minds into the right concepts, all this stuff really becomes easy.
And our right concept is about how we can succeed as
But
African
we are
Americans.
the only ones that's
over
like
here.
a color in a crayon
Because we are the
box.
only ones that's been over
Nobody
here.
else
Because we're the
is
only
like a
ones
color in a
that were
crayon
taken
box.
from their home and was enslaved into a different country and then had to be figured, then gave their freedom and then had to figure out what we're going to call these niggas. And that's what they said. When they got together and said, what we going to call these niggas?
So you think it was by coincidence?
Because Negro ain't no big different from nigga. If you ask me, I wouldn't even
It's
pick
not
that.
so much a coincidence. They pick words that they want to use.
Yeah, and that's what they picked
you
because
have
they
to-
had that situation. It was a situation that we had to make a negative into a positive,
No,
and
it-
instead of us
my
figuring
brother,
out the
it does
Some
not
positive,
stuff
work
they stop
like
calling
that.
them niggas and start calling them criminals. Like they have their buzzwords that they use for us. So instead of being niggas, they criminals.
Be
If,
political.
I'll tell you what, if
Correct.
this was a
Criminals.
buzzword and this was something that we just used on a casual basis, it would be totally different. But when you fill out an application and that little box right there says black and you check it, then you
I put
actually
other.
checking in as a slave. Like, look, yeah, I know I'm black,
I put other.
and that's probably your
Black.
best option. What I'm telling you
I
is,
put other.
Black, Hispanic.
I just put other. But
Start
when they see
checking.
my name, they think I'm white
I'm
anyway.
gonna start checking.
When they see Stacy,
actually, Caucasian might be a good name for you. No, really.
No, I'm black. I'm all right being black. You got a problem. I'm all right. Shit, that haven't stopped me
I
from
just
doing
pick
that.
other.
When you do history, man, you'll see that Caucasian was actually a name given for people who had afros and stuff like that. So it wasn't a man. Look,
Really?
they've stolen so much stuff and turned it upside down.
Caucasian.
Right now, look up the man Johann Friedrich Blumenbach.
That what he called it.
He came up with 6 different
We too
racial
busy
types,
too busy. Who the hell is he?
and the Caucasian was somebody who had an afro look just like mine.
Wow.
And he said he
But they
adopted the
ran with
name.
it, though.
Well, he adopted the name because they had already stolen identity from all the people, so they could do what they want to do at
So
that
that's
point.
where Caucasian came from.
Actually, it represented the people. It wasn't.
that where
It
Caucasian
wasn't.
came from, though?
Yeah, it wasn't a name that was subscribed to them first.
Okay.
Wow.
But my thing is this. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
interesting.
I think we need to stop excuse my French, bitching and fussing about the past and start focusing on the future. Like, if this is something that you really stand for and really want to see change, why you ain't trying to change it? You waiting on somebody else to change it?
So you think I came here to see you just so I could shake your hand?
Yeah, shit. You might
No, you was talking so we.
I'm trying to push you to
I'm opening it up for you to say I'm trying to
and I appreciate it.
You know what I'm saying? That's when you're supposed to say, yeah. See, that's when you're supposed to say, you know what? And that's what I'm here for. I'm trying to make that statement.
He's trying to wake people
I
up
was being
and
sarcastic.
let them know that they not a color, a crayon in a box.
I'm be black.
You know.
You might fit that description got good, to be honest with you.
I do.
Now, I threw some shade at you that time.
But it doesn't stop anything for me. That's why. I haven't seen the color or anything because I embraced it and I made the best out of it.
But that's
My
what we
family
do as
has
a people.
did it.
We embrace the stuff that's meant to bring us down. We embrace it and make it better for us.
And that's what we need to
But
do.
you can't do this with black, is what I'm saying. It doesn't work like that.
That's why we come up with a different one. Black wasn't
in
around
2020, you ain't gonna have
until
no choice because Obama gonna be the did it for you.
Right.
Okay.
When it comes to your own nationality, it shouldn't.
You don't want to become African American.
No, you can't call me no African American.
Because he
Have you
ain't
ever
been
been
there.
I ain't never been no African.
He ain't been Africa.
That's what we've been called.
I'm smart enough to
Do
know
we
like
have a
being
problem?
called African American. That disqualifies me from being tied to the land. I know that much.
Tied to the land. You are American.
I hear you. I hear
He's
you.
indigenous.
If you're indigenous, then you
I saw that little smirk, but I can trace my roots back to Indianola, Mississippi for almost, I know at least about 145 years.
You can retrace your.
To Indianola, Mississippi, right there on the bluff, which was the last part of the United States that got colonized based on the 7-Year War.
140 years. I think I can go further. 140 years. Because my
Where at?
you know what I'm saying, to Austin, Texas. Because I got generations and generations and generations.
Well, you should be the last somebody calling yourself black.
Nigga, I'm calling for black, African American, nigga, Negro. That shit don't matter because I'm Jeremy. And that's why I've been taught that I'm
You
Jeremy.
gotta understand, man.
That
When
those
years,
titles don't affect me
I
because
hear you.
I'm me at the end of the day. So what I do represent me, not my color, not my race, not my, you know what I'm
Not the
saying,
box
a
they trying to put
man,
in
not
there.
me as a man, not me as the son of somebody else. No, as me as this person that went out and established this shit.
So
I did it.
So you trying to say all the stuff that our forefathers fought about trying to, man, if you call somebody black in the 60s, man, you had a fight on your hand.
Because it was looked at as in what? They didn't want to do it. We allowed, I mean, you act like they snuck it under us.
Actually,
That's
they
what
did.
you make it seem like we're going to put.
Actually, they did because they did it and put it on paper. They just said these niggas ain't gonna be smart enough to read no way, so they like they gonna find out.
Well, shit, it's our fault then. Why we mad that they did that?
I'm not mad. I'm
And
actually not mad.
I don't think they. But the main thing is, I don't think they did. You make it seem like they did it as in
They do.
being
They
evil.
did some sneaky stuff.
Listen, man, if you
They
understand-
gonna call you black because they
They
don't
did
have no.
some
Then they
sneaky-
won't
they did
own. They
some
won't
sneaky
have this.
stuff.
They won't have this. They won't have that.
That's exactly what it's for.
I got some property.
That's exactly what I bet you.
My
If,
black ass owns some property.
you might have some property, but I bet if you die and you try to leave it to somebody, I bet they gonna tax them out of it.
No,
Do you know
'cause
what-
I got
do you-
property
do
that I
you-
got from other people
do
that
you
died and then taxes asses out.
And they willed it to you, right?
Yeah, and we had to pay the taxes just like
That's my
anything
whole
else.
point.
So you don't want, but the white folks got to do the same thing as we do.
Do you know what old money is? Do you know before 1913 there wasn't no such thing as mortgages?
But then shit happens.
Everybody had a allodial title, meaning title that transferred allodially,
But-
not from no taxes and all that stuff.
Some people
It
don't
did not
wanna evolve.
exist.
Some people don't want to evolve. Shit, a lot of shit didn't exist until they came up with it. What's exist? What is the meaning of
Well,
exist?
they were able to come up with it because if you in your
Shit, that's
if you're
the
not in
real
your proper
question.
person, they
you
can take whatever
fussing
they
about
want
some
from you.
shit that didn't exist, and then all of a sudden they will put that law and that. You know what I'm saying? You know what?
What?
It's a lot of shit that didn't exist that they writing laws for right now. That's going to be more valuable down the street. So
Might
you know
not
what
be,
I'm saying?
but
It might not
Trump
be. So
Trump and all
that's
he
the
get
whole
rid of a
thing
lot of
is, you know what I'm saying? For something to exist, someone has to go out and make it. Someone has to go out and make it valuable.
You know what a public land trust is?
No. Would you tell me, please?
All right. The United States is not a government. I mean, it's a foreign government, but it's not a country. what they do based on a trustee relationship. They are actually trustees over public land trust. And what that means is, if you're out of your person, meaning that you can't claim the land in your proper person, then you got to have a trustee to administer your trust.
Right.
Why do you think they give us food stamps and all this stuff? They ain't giving it all this stuff because they like us. It's their obligation as trustees. This is their obligation. They throw all this stuff around like you own this and you own it. Like I said, he can talk all he wants, but if somebody don't pay them taxes on that land, the government gonna have it.
They're gonna take it from. They're gonna take it from the Spanish person. They're gonna take it from the white person. They're gonna take it from Chinese person. They don't pay their taxes.
They're gonna take it from
So they're gonna take it from anybody. So why we gotta make it a black folks
or the non-indigenous?
Yeah.
What you have to realize is everybody doesn't operate under the same rules as black folks.
Okay.
Black folks. Okay, explain that.
What I'm telling you is, if you are not in your proper person, then everything you saying that you own and all that, that's just make believe.
That's Instagram.
Well, it could be Instagram if you want it, but what I'm telling you is it doesn't work like that. I know you may be telling me how you feel about this stuff, but what I'm telling you is if you go back to law and check this stuff, don't believe me. Matter of fact, I would say go check it and then call me back on here and be like, look, you know what? We made you out of a lie.
It's a loophole in everything. I have noticed that.
It's not about loophole.
It's a loophole. It's a law for one thing. It's like a virus. You know what I'm saying? As soon as they come up with, you know what I'm saying, a antivirus protection, it's a new virus that's gonna come out to get rid of that. I mean, they can get.
So what are you trying to say? What I'm spreading is a virus?
No, I'm not saying what you're spreading is a virus, but I'm saying if y'all don't get up and stand for something and represent it and put, you know what I'm saying, 10 toes down into it and shit, then it don't matter.
But why does it have to be y'all when it affects you too?
Because it don't affect me.
Because sometimes it needs.
I'm not bothered by
Sometimes it needs a bigger movement to
like
make
Black Lives
people
Matter.
move.
But when we
know
argue
what I
amongst
mean?
each other about what this stuff really means, as opposed to just going and doing the research and saying,
lives matter.
then we Black lives really don't matter. That's why that stuff don't make no sense. Just think about it.
Black Lives Matter.
If that's what you think,
It does.
that's why they killing our babies in the street every day.
But we
How can they get away with it if Black lives matter?
They get away with a lot of shit because they play the loopholes and
Because
and
mostly
black folks
your
do
property.
stuff.
Basically, your
Not
property.
mostly.
I mean,
totally.
your
No,
property.
but black folks
like,
do a
soon
lot
as
of
you get
stuff.
that social security number, you're a business. You're a
Corporation.
business, yeah. For them.
That's for them or us too.
Right. So all your loan, all your stuff, you are a business. As soon as you come out, you already in debt with that number.
I can show you a simple test just to show you what she's talking about. If you get any mail in the mailbox, if it's in your proper person, it'll come with your name spelled correctly. Capital first letter, then lowercase name. Same thing for your last name. But as soon as you owe them for a bill or something, watch how everything comes in capital letter.
They yelling at you, shit.
They yelling at you because you're a corporation.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think it's
Everything that we do operates from a
you
law
are.
perspective.
So they
With
start
your
saying, since he's a
once you get
corporation,
that
man, we're gonna cap all talking when we talk.
Yeah, and
about
we
it.
treat you like a corporation from
Yeah,
birth to
because
death.
that's what you are. As soon as you get that number, that's what you are. But when you get your nationality, you no longer are under that corporation that owes the government that money. In fact, that number is like obsolete or gone. So, like, it makes sense. For people just, the black thing, you gotta get them another name. That's what I'm saying. Like, they need something.
I totally get it.
Because people are, it's sheeple. Sheeple need stuff.
But what I'm saying is,
Sheeple is more sheeple than anything.
if you know the history, you'll know that before the Europeans got here,
It's sheeple.
there were plenty of nations.
Right.
Cherokee Nation, Choctaw Nation. That discovery is up to you to find out exactly what nation
But
you
people
came
don't
from.
want, like they used to say, if you want to
Hell,
have
benefit
something,
come
put it
from
in
the
a
nation.
book. Right? Now you ain't even got to put it in a book. Because ain't nobody even trying to research nothing no more.
But that's
Ain't
crazy.
nobody, people don't even care. That's
So-
the problem. People don't care.
So if we come
You
up
can
with a
tell
name for
them
ourselves,
that they blight.
how we gonna
Blight.
feel? How we gonna? Okay,
You
what
can
did that
name-
benefit?
Name, you can give them
Give
a
them
name,
a
and
name
people roll
that
with
you
it.
like. Okay, well, if
It
they give
doesn't
us a
work like
name that
that.
they like, what
I
do
know,
we?
but
But
I'm
we
just
don't have
saying.
shit. But you saying we need to come up. We shouldn't be called black. We should be called something else. And what do that entitle us to?
American.
We are entitled to it, man. We are all Americans.
How so?
No, but there's
How so?
certain
How are
benefits
Europeans
that you
American?
don't get.
Huh?
How are Europeans Americans? Tell me that.
What you mean, how Europeans?
How are they Americans? If their foundation is from Europe, how are they
Because
Americans?
they came and they fought for it.
They fought for
And they
it.
separated themselves from it. And that's when they came up with a name and existed. That's when the existence of American came, because they said, we're not, you know what I'm saying, this. We was born here because it was generations that, you know what I'm saying, when they all got here, they used to call themselves, you know what I'm saying, that they're Europeans and this new
English
American,
and
you know
all
what I'm
that
saying, English and stuff like that. But as they was birthed into, you was born here, you picked up this and you picked up that, then they start saying, we really don't have no ties to, we got more ties to this than we have ties to that.
It didn't work like that.
Oh, good, man. A lot of niggas. No. I threw some shade at you back.
I feel you, but like I said, I ain't gonna argue with that. What I'm telling you is, when it comes to facts, you standing on the island by yourself.
They're flexible both ways.
I mean, facts cannot be disputed. You're telling me about what you think and what you believe. What I'm telling you, it is proven that all that stuff didn't happen like that.
It's proven that it happened like that, too.
Show me proof.
And, shit, I can show you all kind of books. And you want to, you know what I'm saying, say, they wrote this so we can believe this.
It doesn't work like that, my brother.
Yes, it does. And that's the problem. It works. You know what I'm saying? What to believe? Do we fight about what, you know what I'm saying, was Adam and Eve, you know what I'm saying, black or white or what color, what they are, or what we just all want?
Well,
And shit happened.
Adam
there
and
we are.
Eve is actually a story about.
So that you only believe in my Jesus now.
Why would I believe in something that couldn't exist in Jesus' time? So you telling me it was a Jesus?
I believe in Jesus. You believe in Jesus? You don't believe in Jesus?
That's what we got the problem at right there. Jesus got him.
No, it's not so much Jesus because I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I believe in Jesus because I was raised to believe in Jesus. You know what I'm saying? I question it all the time. And I do question it and everything. But I'd rather be wrong than be, I'd rather be wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather be wrong and then just die with y'all black asses and we just turn back to dust than be, you know what I'm saying? Then y'all niggas be wrong and you be up at the judgment day and be like, you know what I'm saying? That nigga really do exist. Yeah, nigga, I'm here. That's my thought on it. No, for real. That's how I really. That's how people feel.
Their beliefs.
And which I don't have a problem with.
They have a right
But what
to
I'm
believe
telling you, when you
whatever they want to, whatever they need to believe in to help them go with life and face their struggles.
And I don't
They
believe
need
it's
something to
beliefs
believe
are
in.
for kids.
But adults need
Children
beliefs too.
believe, adults know.
Well,
Uh-uh.
we're in a society, we're in an era where people have.
You know you was coming, but you
They
believed
have
you was gonna get here, huh? Nigga, please. See, that's what I'm talking about. Niggas want to pick something. You believe that when you got off the elevator, you believed it was around the corner on this floor, huh?
Actually, I didn't believe anything. Actually, I
knew
found it.
Huh? You found it? Yeah. But it had to
With
be
a
lost.
little
for you.
guidance of
That would be
knowing
like
a few
you.
things that I
For you to
found.
find something, it had to be lost. We was not lost for you to find us.
Actually, with the cut, it was actually very
saying?
hard to find it.
You know what I'm saying? We wasn't lost. You know what I'm saying? It was just you might didn't know where we was at, but you believed it was around this corner. That's why you went and looked.
Nah, you can't say I believe
My
anything.
nigga.
I think he had too much of this.
I ain't
we
think
don't
that, but
drink.
this is me.
Yeah,
I
you don't
feel
drink.
you.
This
This
is
is
normal.
me.
Go
But it's
yeah.
usually like this
Go
when you're
dinner.
debating facts against what people feel and what they believe.
But you want us
Anytime
to.
you're dealing
You
with
want to
religion,
see.
it's gonna be.
Well, it ain't about religion,
and
though.
then he
Even when
can
we
answer
talking
my
about the word
thing.
black.
He usually
Black
answer my
and
thing.
religion. Those are two.
What'd you ask me?
Those are
You
two
just answered
touchy subjects.
But look,
Touch
he
it
said
not, it's still true to
facts,
it.
and when people what feel a certain type of way about something.
When they dealing with beliefs and feelings.
Okay, but you want us to go back into feeling about feelings. That's what he said.
Go back into feelings.
Yeah,
How's that
it should
possible?
be about feelings that we, you know what I'm saying, feel a certain type of way. If we don't belong, if we're not governed, we just going by how we feel then.
I get tired.
Yeah. Tell them,
If
Stacey.
we're
you
not
got it.
governed, then we going by how we feel. But you're saying, we shouldn't be governed.
Why
We
is
should
it
have all our
possible?
freedoms.
Why is it possible for a man whose blood pumps the same as yours? Why should he have dominion to govern you?
True indeed. Why should he?
He doesn't.
Right.
So why do we feel the need to be governed by somebody?
Sheeple.
I understand that, but even as being sheeple, man, we need to come up with better reasons for why we doing this stuff than just saying we doing it because we've been doing it.
Because we've been doing it. That's what religion.
But you gotta understand, if that's the case, then you gotta understand why they laughing at us then. It's almost like they saying, man, look, it's almost like when they said that we were 3/5 of a human, they were almost telling the truth. And this the attitude we get about this.
Right. Yeah.
Man, this is something to make stuff better.
Yeah. It's hard.
We got a long way to go.
It's a long road.
We have a long way to
It's
go.
it's a long way. And you got to keep talking about it. And you got to keep sharing it.
And that's why I decided to
and you have to give more facts and find a way to, because you can't browbeat people. Like when you doing this, like just telling them, look, you ain't black, you ain't black. People put their defenses up.
And that's
you know
fine.
what I mean? Yeah, but then they start getting, deaf ears. They don't want to hear it. So you got to find a way to put a little sugar on it, put a little honey on it. So
I guess I'm not a good sugarcoater.
You are not.
And I never meant to be. What I'm telling you
and you
is,
have to put a little sugar on it.
that's just
That's
not
like
my
in
forte.
religion. When you're trying to,
I'm not trying to sell anything.
You're not trying to sell anything, but you are selling something. You selling them a freedom. You selling them their nationality.
I'm not even trying to sell nationality. What I'm saying is, if this doesn't feel wrong to you, in the sense of having somebody else tell you what to do and telling you when you can be free,
right,
then it may not be for you.
And it may not be. And that's when you got to take it that the people who are not listening, who don't want to wake up to the knowledge that you're dropping, then you move on. You have to move on. You can't browbeat the people who want to wake up to the truth that you're giving them. Then you expound with them and give them the information they need to know to not be black, to not be a color, to not be less than human. You know what I mean? Then you tell those people. For the other people, you dust your feet off and keep on moving.
Oh, I totally get it. But my point is this. At some point, like he said before he left, somebody has to feel brave enough to tell people this.
They do.
I just want to be the person that sparks in your
That
brain
at
to
least started
actually ask yourself.
Right.
I don't want to be the one to bring you the truth.
Right.
I'll try to give you a little pointers and a little few reference points to actually so
you
where
can
you
research.
can go.
Right.
But to try to bring you the truth, that's almost like if I'm trying to be like I'm a historian or something. And that ain't the case. What I'm telling you is, when it comes to this feeling that we have inside about this being wrong, I think we all share that. And with that little part of it, I think we should be trying to strive to figure out what's wrong.
We should. But it's too many people. Like, if people are still on white Jesus, how you think they're going to get over the black?
I
You see
totally
what I'm
agree.
saying? It's like it's a whole different animal.
I totally
It's a
agree.
whole different type of conversation.
I want to save this comment for when we come back, man, but I have a lot of these conversations, and usually it always ends up the same, to people saying like, well, if you're going to take this away from us, what you going to replace it with?
Well, that's what I was saying.
I ain't replacing it with
need-
nothing.
Because people need, because they so conditioned
I totally agree.
to have something. Like, you took this away, now what you going to give me for that you took away from me? I need something to replace that. Why
What
can't
if-
you just let that just be gone?
Especially if it was bad for you.
Right. Why it gotta be replaced? Let it go and keep it moving. But people not like that. I need this space filled. So I need you to put something back right there. This is not good. Give me something else.
I can't replace it with nothing but the truth.
But that's people need fillers. Like, I need something.
But that's probably part of our problem, thinking that we have to have a filler for everything. When we all share the greatest science known to man. You know what that is? Common sense.
But common sense ain't common. You know that, right?
It's common in the sense that everybody has it, but it's not common in the sense that everybody uses it. They have it, they just don't use it.
Dude, I've met a lot of people who do not have common sense. Like, oh my God. Like, really?
Wow.
Common sense ain't common.
I think
And
that's
you
something
have
we
to
should
know
all
you-
share it.
Yeah, you think that we should, but you gotta know your audience. And browbeating people is not gonna do that but run them, push them away.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
But it's like
Just learn to follow the sugar to put on it. Like if you just, it's like fishing. Like you throw your little bait out there and you dangling around or whatever, and then somebody bite, then you bring them in to more knowledge. And then you gotta spoon feed them. Like I used to be very religious, and I knew about spoon feeding people to the truth as I knew it at that time. And I spoon fed them and brought them over, right? I didn't browbeat them. You know, it's a finesse to it. So you finesse it, and then now you got all the people here with you. You know what I mean? To the truth that you know.
you do realize we are in a crisis right now.
We are in a crisis.
So do you really think that people have time to be
Spoon fed?
spoon-feeding
Some people
adult people?
do.
All I would
Some
say
people
is this.
do.
All I
Need
would-
to be spoon fed.
But I'm not
because
the
you
one
just
to
can't
spoon
give
feed.
them this whole freaking thing. They just can't take it.
What
you
I
have
gave
to
you-
know the people.
I didn't
you have
even
to know
give
your
you-
audience. You only gave us a little snippet.
That's what I'm saying.
A snippet. Just imagine if you gave us more.
That's my whole point. So if I was trying to spoon feed people, man, I would have to teach. It's not possible. All I can do is give you references, let you know that, check this out. See if I'm lying. Your whole motivation can be proving me out of a lie. It's making
True
me be a lie.
indeed. So you researching so bad that you're trying to prove you wrong and
And you'll
find out
find the
that you're
truth.
right.
That's all I'm saying.
Right, exactly.
That's why me telling you which way to go and which way to do this, that doesn't serve the purpose.
Research that.
Yeah. Hey, write down 20 questions that you asked yourself over the years. Start looking for the answer for them.
Right.
You'll notice that they all, especially when it comes to religion and all that stuff, you'll notice that they all have some kind of connection. Especially when it comes to this thing we call racism.
When you think
and-
about religion, what they say, narrow is the way. So here you got narrow is the way of the people who gonna come this way. Then you got this big old wide area where everybody gonna fall off the damn bridge. It happens. Everybody ain't meant to know the truth.
And
you
I
have
slowly.
to realize that and awaken yourself to that. I have to tell my son because he's doing the same thing. You know, he getting his nationalism, he's doing the whole thing. But don't be browbeating people.
I mean, you said that so many times. Tell me exactly what that means.
Browbeating?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just like, you ain't black. You ain't black. I'm telling you, you ain't black.
Did I come off like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe when I was talking to him.
No. This is on your Facebook.
Well,
Just-
it's
your
a
page.
contract. It's a
You
contract.
can do whatever you want, but I'm just saying, you know, so I was like, come on the show, dude, because this is interesting. This should be good. But if you just, you know, it's like this.
Yeah. I don't.
You know what I mean?
But
That's how it is. You ain't black. You ain't black. You ain't black. That's
I
browbeating.
don't ever.
That's like,
Yeah,
you can't do that.
I don't think that's what it is. I just don't.
You don't see it as that. Because
don't.
you have a passion for it. And you
You're
want
blind.
people, no, you have a passion and you want people to realize that they're in the dark.
Yeah.
Wake up. Realize you're still in prison. You still ain't free. You still a slave. You a slave to this word black, which is color. But they ain't getting it because you.
No, you can't say that they not getting it because I'm
mean,
doing
some
this.
people are getting
They weren't
it.
getting it at first.
But they weren't getting
So
it.
me saying it
But the
ain't
approach.
the reason why they ain't getting it.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
iPhone.
a lot of people don't want to. A lot of people
iPhone
don't
is
want to
on
research
Android.
anyway.
That's my whole point.
They're not going to
You
research.
can't blame me for not getting it.
No. I'm saying like your approach may be strong for some people, right? The people who are already awake and aware of it know what you're doing.
Yeah.
They like, oh, okay, I see what he's doing, you know. But you gotta put a little sugar on it.
Black man.
When you put sugar on it, you make it less than what it is. So I'm not willing to do
You're
that.
not
For the
deluding.
people, I
You're
will
not
make.
deluding it.
I will
He's
say
putting
this.
too much feeling into it, and that's what
No,
happens when
he has
people
a
put their
passion.
feelings. I
The
know.
passion is
his
good.
passion is him showing
But
how
for
much
some
his feelings.
people, because you gotta understand the sheeple. The sheeple don't want to hear this.
You're still blind. We ain't trying to do red or blue pill.
They still in the matrix. And you can't, they gotta be willing to take the pill.
And remember when
They
he
still
said
hooked
they said they're
up
gonna
to
put
the
me in,
machine.
he's gonna put me back into
They
the
still
matrix
hooked
and
up.
everything. Remember the guy
So you
Trey?
just can't rip them out You know, without asking them to make a decision.
And
Which
sometimes
one you
maybe
want?
that's being the matrix.
Some people you can pull out, but then what happen? They might not be able to make it because they can't deal with the reality because they've been stuck to the fucking machine for so fucking long.
I think that's what the problem is.
Said that
I think
shit.
people have been doing exactly what you said for so long, and look where it's got us.
When you say let's say in 2012.
Yeah, I already knew about that, but he
Yeah,
put
but they
some,
thought-
he
but
put
they
some
say
new
in
stuff in for the
2020, no.
indigenous people, which is really awesome.
That was
Look, in
actually
2020, you know why?
That's
Because
awesome.
they say
Yeah.
how they say we're gonna look in 2020. The average child come out gonna look in 2020.
Well, right
Mixed.
now it's going to be a lot of biracial stuff, and they fail to realize that, and that's why.
That's why they're gonna have to make
That's
them
why
under
they're trying to make
African
America great again, because America great is like all Caucasian
Nah, we ain't
or
gonna
all
do that shit.
white. No, when they say make it great again,
Yeah,
they're
they
going back
fight.
to that
That's
time
the-
frame.
that's the
But that's
certain
because the
people
old
that's
white
doing
men
that.
are dying out.
Yeah, the
The
old
old
these
men
people
are
are
dying out.
These
dying
people
out.
have a worldwide agenda.
To get all y'all on iPhones, so they can watch what y'all doing.
They're watching what you're doing anyway.
Yeah, they go out
Like
there,
they listen to every
What's
phone.
up, Trump?
They listen to
Appreciate
every
you for
phone.
tuning in, Trump.
Yeah.
This
But
nigga,
that's
right?
it. Like you gotta understand, if you had that mindset, people are still plugged into the matrix,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Most definitely.
They still hooked on religion.
Mm-hmm.
So you got those people.
So
First you
unless you gonna
gotta,
be more
first you
fearless
gotta
and let us
unplug
loose.
them from the matrix, then get away from religion, and then you bring them up to that. It's steps. Like
What you're describing, you do that for kids.
Oh, see, he want to take.
You do that for children.
I understand
He
what
kills
you're
you.
How am I
saying.
taking it too far?
Because
I
instead of
understand
you,
what you're saying.
instead of you saying, you know what I'm saying, it's like this. They can chop my hand off, or they can chop my arm off, and you like, fuck it, chop my arm off. That was you too busy saying.
Not
You gonna
to
chop
get the
something?
head.
You
Yeah,
stubborn.
just chop the
You
whole
stubborn as
fucking
hell.
thing off.
That's what it is. You stubborn as hell.
Chop the whole fucking thing
You
off.
know what I'm saying? You
Fuck
like
just trying to do a
you
whole
the African
Nigga,
monkey.
Just take all my shit off.
You the African monkey that they say that they dig a hole in Africa, they put some fruit in there that's big enough for your hand to go in there open,
Yeah.
and the monkey grabs the fruit, and then he'll get stuck because it's not big enough for him to pull
I
out.
really think this is turning into something else, though.
And they
I honestly think this is turning into something else.
He's
And
stuck
I'll
on
leave
that
it at
one
that because
term away.
when
He ain't seen
when
it.
it comes to stuff like that, then it's really not about the facts. It's really about trying to throw jabs at somebody who's trying to take you out of a place that actually, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't dare compare you to
I'm
a
saying,
monkey, man.
no, I'm not comparing you to a monkey. I'm saying the mentality of someone being focused on
You're
one
saying you
thing.
stubborn.
How am I stubborn?
Stubbornness. I said the monkey. This is what they do. It's a whole they do.
I know
Listen.
about the little
And
experiment you're talking
so,
about.
so the monkey is so stubborn. Instead of him, he's trying to get the food.
Instead
And
of
he
letting
focusing
letting the
on getting the
banana go.
food.
What am
and
I getting
winning.
out of this?
He want to do this.
What am I getting out of this besides trying to share stuff that people need to know?
I mean, you're not getting. I'm not saying you're not getting something. I'm not saying that you're getting something out of it. So you. I think
Well, he
you
wants
take
to
everything.
get something out of it. He wants people to wake up.
I've never seen
Yeah.
so much resistance for somebody who's really just trying to help his people to be at a better place.
And
Right.
it's nothing wrong with it, but like she said, you know what I'm saying? You too busy doing all this instead of you too
You're not
busy
trying
showing
to do
the
it, but
past
that's how
and
it
what's
feels.
bad instead of what's good.
I'm just telling you how it feels for the sheeple, the matrix, and the
You
religion.
show the people what the benefits of us doing this. Not we need this because of this. We need this because of this. Show them the benefits. You haven't told me no benefits from being this yet. Since
Show
you
me
came in
benefits
here.
that you get from being black.
See, you too busy. See, he won't, you know what I'm saying? Show me the benefits. Show me, you know what I'm saying?
Nations all
If
over
we
the world.
did this, you know what I'm saying?
What
Campaign people
benefit?
don't come and say, don't vote on Trump
What-
because of this, because of this, because of this,
What
this, and this.
benefit of having your nationality and calling yourself indigenous? What rights do you have now? What inheritance do you now have that you didn't have before because you was black?
Yeah. And then we'll start saying, oh, not that they did us wrong and
And
mad
I'll
at us
still
because
go
of
back
doing
to
this.
what I told you earlier. I'm not here to give y'all all the answers. No, seriously.
Right.
It's almost like y'all, you tell me I'm doing this, but from my view, it's like y'all saying, if you don't give me all the truth, everything on the platter, then I don't want it. I get that.
Right.
But what I'm telling you is, when you earn this stuff, you can't separate from it. It's not about a nationality at that point. When you realize that nobody owns you, then it doesn't take for somebody to say that you're a nationality. Or
Right.
you this or you that. What I'm
Right.
telling you is, man, this is something that's good for every person.
It is.
If you can't look in the mirror and say, look, I'm free because I'm free because of this reason,
Right.
then you're probably looking at the wrong person. If you're looking for guidance from other people, then you probably don't even need to look at the mirror. I can't free you.
Right.
That's why preachers can't get you into heaven.
They cannot.
If you don't do it for yourself, then it won't be done. It is not anybody else's responsibility to do anything for you but you. There's an old saying if you don't know yourself, then you are not entitled to anything outside of yourself. Meaning everything out here, everything that exists in the world, if you don't know this part, then you ain't entitled to that. So to be trying to fight stuff to some this and that and all I'm trying to do
I'm saying that's how
give reference
it
points.
feels for some people.
I get that. I get that a
That's all
lot.
I'm saying.
So maybe if you're getting that a lot, then that shows you that you might need to do it different.
But it's usually only when resistance comes as opposed to
Resistance is gonna come.
what I'm saying
Because you
is
should
I would
have
expect
stuff they haven't even
resistance.
heard of. They
I
haven't
would-
even thought of this before.
Well, let's sit down and fact check stuff and see if I'm telling the truth,
right.
and then it doesn't matter.
Right.
But for me to just tell you something and you to resist it because I said it, that's a whole
I'm
nother
not
story.
resisting it because you just said it.
No, we saying people in general,
Oh,
not
yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but what I'm saying is this stuff. I'm not saying this just because I woke up this morning and felt like, well, I'm gonna go over here and tell me a bunch
Yeah.
of lies.
Right.
What I'm telling you, this is stuff that people have been saying for. I ain't smart or nothing.
You just
Man, people been
woke up.
saying this forever.
Woke. You that new word they're using now, woke.
They only use it because it actually means something.
Mm-hmm.
Like she said, man, when you part of the sheeple, you'll be arguing me back and forth, and the whole time it'll be based on how people feel as opposed to what's real and what's fact and true.
People feel, but you want to keep on going back to the field by not being governed.
Well, about it being what now?
Not being governed.
Because we need to not be governed. We need to go and do what we feel like doing.
Some people feel they need to be governed. You may fit that mold, but what I'm saying is I don't need to be governed. I don't need for somebody to tell me if I did right or wrong. Like when you was out the room, when you was talking about some, it ain't coming.
It's not about you.
It's
though.
coming in the
about
sense that when you
everybody.
do something wrong, you feel it. You may not admit to it. You get that feeling.
Right.
That ain't
the main
no
thing is
God
people-
per se.
people
That's
don't
something
care.
everybody. That feeling is everybody get that feeling. That's an international feeling. I don't care what you believe in. If you do something wrong, usually your conscience recognizes that.
Yeah, but that's a conscience. That's not common
conscience.
sense.
But it's guiding you.
Our conscience don't do that because there's people out there bullying people every day. Their conscience don't stop them from doing wrong to people. It's just I just believe in government because I believe that I ain't finna give one person that much opportunity to choose what happens in my life. Because if you're not governed, other people can choose what happened to you.
So you don't think the government chooses for you?
The government chooses, but they hold accountable.
They held
account
accountable.
balances. There's account
Have you not been
imbalances.
seeing all these so-called black folks get being murdered?
Yeah, like the government been murdered. They was murdered by individuals. Now, once the individual got in there and stuff like that, then circumstances go into play.
So
as in, where we gonna move? You know what I'm saying? That's strategizing, and the government is not so much the government, but as in the lawyers and stuff. So we gonna move this trial to this area because then when they do the jury, they gonna supply this, that, and this, like they did with what's his name, Rodney King, the cops. They lost that because they moved it to they moved it from central Los Angeles where they would have had a lot of different black people on the jury to the majority of white folks. And for you to go to jury or summons and stuff, you have to go do everything.
But some people,
it's the game played in life. Life is a game.
But some people, a school of thought is that they're killing the young black people for, what is it, population control?
Population control.
So that's a school of thought.
I had a cousin just
That
killed by a
they
police
were-
officer.
that
I got
they
two
were-
of them
that
that was
they were
killed
killing
within the last
people.
2 years.
Black youth, black men, for population control.
But I have two cousins that was
So,
killed by
it
police
is an
officers
agenda.
in the last 2 years in Austin.
So it's an agenda
So
to kill the
you-
people. killed a black youth.
I just find it funny, man, that for everything that they've done to us, you can still find favor in the way that they do things as opposed to...
No, I don't find favor, but
That's exactly what you just said.
I'm able to look at it for what it is and see what it is and not look at a race thing and not be blinded by race.
So you trying to say race doesn't matter?
I look at it as a human right and this shit. My cousin that was killed by the officer and shit like that, and it was questionable and shit like that, but it didn't shock me when they called me and told me that because I know the type of life this nigga was living and stuff like that.
Come on,
and
man.
what comes along.
My brother, come on, man. I don't care what kind of life you live, man. Nobody has the right to kill you.
No, nobody has the right to kill you, but shit happens and you bring shit on yourself.
All I would say is
And then, you know what I'm saying?
just be careful about saying stuff like that, man. That's your,
That's
those are your people.
That's my opinion. Just
That's
like,
his
no,
opinion.
I'm telling you, I'm really finna piss you off. Give me 5 minutes on this one.
I'll give you 5 minutes.
This is the one right there. What's the cat that died up in New York that got strangled to death
I don't even
and bled? And you know what
I
I'm
don't
saying?
even
What
want
they
to
doing?
say, man.
You know what I'm saying? What's the cat that got died in Eric Gamble? Or what's his name?
Garner.
Garner and stuff like that. When they walked up, and would he still be alive if he would put his arm behind his back when the police officer told him that? And went in and did what just, you know what I'm saying, when he's out there selling illegal cigarettes in front of a store. And they said, they caught him doing it and they said, put your hands behind your back. And he resisted arrest, didn't he?
Wow.
My nigga, you really that blind? So
you trying to tell me that man, that Eric Garner deserved to die?
He
for
didn't
selling
deserve to
cigarettes
die. He
in
didn't
front of a
deserve
store?
to die, but he put that shit in motion by saying, I'm finna go out there and do something illegal. That
Why
might,
is it illegal? Because they
might,
said it?
you know what I'm saying? But that might.
Why is it illegal? Because they said it?
Yes, because that's what the law say, nigga. That's why you ain't gonna speed home tonight, nigga. Indigenous person. I just say the N word.
I ain't tripping, man. I know it's all.
But that's the whole thing. It's called being, you know what I'm saying, holding yourself accountable for your actions. If
Why
he
are
didn't
you
go out there and
accountable?
do something illegal, he wouldn't been in that spot to get choked out. If he would put his if he would put his hands behind his back because he got busted and he was and owned up to it and stuff, then they wouldn't have to force him down and choke him and to do everything. And maybe the person took it too far.
Too far? You made
The
a man
person took it
die.
too far and stuff like that.
Really?
But I don't think the person went out there. You thought he woke up that morning and said, I'm finna go kill a nigga today.
He might have.
See, that's where the power at. That's where the power go. When you sit up and you quit to, you know what I'm saying, when you don't have God.
God.
When you
Which
don't
one
have
you
God.
talking about?
When you have God. Shit,
Tell
God
me-
in the
tell me
Bible,
which- tell me
King
which-
James version of God.
You do know King James was actually the one who actually sent the first voyage of
told you
slaves
that?
over.
Who told you that?
I mean, this is documented history.
Is it saying shit? The Bible documented history, but you
From his
but you-
version.
Hey, no. You want to see? That's what I want to say. He want to compare apples and oranges. He don't want to compare apples and apples. His shit was documented by somebody who said this is it. My shit documented by somebody who said this is shit. So you know what I'm saying? What's the you know what I'm saying? What's the lesson of two evils?
You do know when King James wrote the Bible, right?
At the same time,
16.
the person wrote your
I ain't
shit.
trying to give no trivia question. What I'm telling you is that was like in the 17th century.
And
And
it
that was
wasn't
almost
no-
1,600 years after Jesus lived. You don't think that the Bible got screwed around in none of that time?
So the information you got was written when? It was written in English, nigga. It wasn't even written in Hebrew. So that was like 25,000 years after the nigga had died. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you ridiculous, man.
No! Apples and apples. That's what I go to buy. You know what I'm saying? But
I don't know,
and
that's
answer the
crazy.
question.
Are we
You
over?
understand where I'm coming from, huh?
I understand both points of view.
Yes, you know what I'm saying? That's all
These
I'm
aren't
talking
points of view.
about. Oh, shit.
What these are somebody's having feelings about stuff, and I'm stating facts.
And his facts come from books that he read written by somebody having feelings about something. Woo!
Well, yeah. Thank y'all for tuning in. This was an awesome show.
Y'all gotta
I
bring
am
me back.
S-Man.
You can have your own show.
I'd like to thank my guest, Ken Fennell, for coming in.
I appreciate y'all too.
Inform
Yeah,
us.
Ken, you gotta come in and do your own show, and you can inform people every day,
I might take you up on
every
that.
week.
I
Maybe
might just
2-hour
take you up
show,
on
and
that.
that's your first step or something
Yeah, for real.
to
I
doing
might just
it.
take you
And
up
people
on
that
that.
want to listen to you can sit there and listen
Well,
to you.
this is most important to me though, because like I said, I wouldn't be doing this other than if I didn't feel there was a remedy in sight with this, then I wouldn't do it.
And that's
Right, I
understandable. I
understand.
have no problem with us being changed to something, and I feel like I want to stand behind it.
So you gonna let
But
me
you
make it
haven't
up?
told me no benefits on difference between saying African American and this, other than we are belonging.
I'll tell you this: every other people belong to a nation except us.
Because we lost our nation. Africans don't
Nationality.
accept us. We lost our
How do we lose
nationality.
it? So shouldn't we be able to get it back?
But to tell the truth, English people have lost their Caucasians.
Yeah, they have
lost
to turn
theirs
theirs
too.
in when they start claiming American.
Okay, so we turned
But that
ours
don't mean
in when
they're
we started
American,
claiming
though.
African
No,
American.
we didn't turn nothing. You might have turned yours in, but I didn't.
Yeah, you never had it turned.
Okay.
You grow. That's what you are right now. That's what you. That was your birth certificate.
I'll take that only because you look half the way I do. If you were any lighter, then we would probably have to go outside.
I know, right? If you was any lighter.
Any lighter, we would probably have to go outside with that turn.
No, you won't.
Yeah, I'm letting you know.
I'm Hispanic.
Man, you don't stop.
I'm
All right,
Hispanic. So I don't have that problem because I'm Puerto Rican.
Man,
So my people from Puerto Rico.
Really?
Yes. So that's probably why I don't have this hang up like
well,
you.
I'll put it like this: if your
I
people
have
are
a
Puerto
nationality.
Rican, then you should really have a nationality.
Yeah, I type black, you know what I'm saying, Spanish.
So you don't honor your mothers and fathers, your ancestors.
My black ones,
No,
them niggas.
you didn't have. You know what, man?
The black side be tripping. I'm on this white. I'm on
Man,
this.
you are
Spanish.
so against nature, man. To this, it's not
I ain't
funny,
against
man.
nature.
We finna sign out.
You are
Thank y'all for
so.
tuning in. Tips
Thank
one
y'all.
time.
Appreciate y'all.
Let's go.
Under the influence.
He say I'm just against nature. I ain't against nature.
Oh man, this
I'm
is
against
real.
bullshit. That's why I'm against bullshit.
She said nature's bullshit.
He hasn't told me anything.